Hey guys, Comic Book University and the professor is in. Did that sound good? Or should I just stick with Professor Bill, Comic Book University? Maybe a jingle? Professor Bill, University? No. Anyway, guys, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think this was a really good episode here. Now, what we had was another episode where Agent May is trapped inside this, it wasn't quite psychedelic, but it might as well be. She's in this alternate mental state, right? Somehow her mind is hooked up to a virtual reality scenario. It's kind of like a VR prison. It's almost like she was trapped in Arcade's prison. Like, remember the X-Men? Anyway, the point is that we actually got to see how she got caught, which was surprisingly simple. Like, it was clearly planned from the very beginning because, wow. But regardless, I think it should have been pretty obvious. She wasn't going to believe that she was getting a massage and a facial. I mean, come on, that was just dumb. But then changing it up as things went on, that was very interesting. And then when you realize that the whole escape was just a part of it and she's been doing this over and over again. Wow. Anybody get a flashback of the Matrix? I kind of expected her to jump up and doing those Trinity kicks, but didn't happen. What I do find interesting that they didn't actually touch on is that as May is getting better and better solving this puzzle, this is seriously like this is the Pavlov's dog experiment. There's just not quite electricity involved in this, but the idea is that Ada should also be learning because I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, how is Ada's reflexes this fast? How are they that fast? They shouldn't be, but they were. I don't know that, I don't know, I guess it's the idea that reflexes could be faster, but she was pretty good at catching and flipping and, doing the catching kicks and stuff like that. She took a lot of shots, but she also blocked a good deal also. Now, if they keep on redoing this scenario over and over again and May just keeps on getting better every time, well, that means that Ada is also getting better because she's already proven by memorizing the Darkhold that she is a learning computer. I also have to acknowledge that apparently the Darkhold did not corrupt her. I'm still going to hold on to the thread that it could, and it could just be another subplot. Because again, this LMD storyline is going until the end of this season, and they've already said minimum half of the next season. They probably won't go any further than that because that might be a bit of a dramatic overkill, but I'm sure there'll be something else for the first half of next season that'll drag into the second half. But yeah, this is actually going until midway of season 5. So seriously, buckle in. And I don't think that Radcliffe is going to stay on the run for quite that long. Speaking of which, he's about to meet the Superior. You have no idea how excited I am about this. I'm keeping it really low key right now, but forget about it. I'm just like, yay, giddy. I really want to see what's going on here. Is it going to be the Secret Society? Because on the comic book side, February is when the Secret Society storyline is supposed to be released. There's so many crossover events and large events going on in the Marvel Comics right now that it's kind of crackers. But the idea is that there's another one coming up. I guess Clone Conspiracy is just about to end. So it's time for another one, right? As the Monster Madness one, the MU, is Monsters Unleashed is still going on, and just so much crazy stuff going on. I feel like we just got out of Pleasant Hill, which would be a really great Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, wasn't it? Or a couple of episodes. Either way, with Secret Society coming up, there's going to be Captain America Steve Rogers' Secret Society. I'm looking forward to that. And this could tie into that really well. Either way, we get to see Mac and Yo-Yo get together a little bit closer. And maybe a lot closer, depending on how you look at it. But the whole thing with Hope, and that's actually his daughter. She died after 4 days. Wow, that seriously, like that's a playing the heartstrings, That was rough. And I was still thinking, no, it's a farce. He's lying. He's the mole. He's definitely the mole. And no, it was actually Radcliffe. Oh man, I like this that I can't always follow along. I play chess, right? So I can think I have to think several steps ahead, right? I can play a couple of moves, ahead of myself. But here, I'm literally like, every time I think, I had the Agent May thing, all right? I knew that she was going to have like the RoboCop Prime Directive thing on her, but some of the other aspects of the storyline and the plot itself, nah, they got me good. They got me really good. But they've got a lot of characters that they could return. I'm really hoping to see some of these other characters. I'm hoping to see like Graviton, like actual, come out. I'm hoping to see Crusher Creel come back. I'm hoping to see a lot of good stuff coming back. This would actually be the first season that does not have Agent Ward in it in some way, shape, or form, which is eerily creepy. Either way. Hey, I wonder if they're going to bring Swamp Thing in one of these days, because that could be interesting. He's got a comic coming out. R.L. Stine is going to be writing it. What else do I have here? Daisy signing the Sokovia Accords. Guys, just really quick, because there are some people who don't know. Please see Captain America Part 3, Civil War, the movie, if you don't know what the Sokovia Accords are. All right? Just the superhero, any superhero or costumed vigilante has to sign the Sokovia Accords, otherwise they are working illegally and they will be arrested and bad things will happen, like Guantanamo level bad. So there's that. But Daisy was supposed to sign the Accords. They messed it up because Nadir was in there. I was really hoping they were going to play this. Like, to me, this was actually a bad aspect, that they didn't push forward with the idea, like, why aren't these agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wearing body cams so they could prove that Nadir is actually a psychopath and seriously killed her brother and all that stuff? They wouldn't be able to see that she killed her brother, but they would be able to see several other things. And by the way, I know he's not dead. And, theories. Theories. I was asked about theories about his power. My opinion on his theories is time manipulation. All right? He's got all the super speed and all that stuff. That could just be time manipulation, because he's seeing the stuff fast also. Now, you can't see faster than a normal human being. It's just little physics in my background, a lot of electrical engineering, all right, and enough to do with chemistry. Yeah, to quote our president, I'm like a smart guy. But either way, yeah, you can't see faster. Light isn't going to enter our eyes any faster than somebody else's. But the idea of being able to think faster and process what you see faster, that's a possibility with super speed. But it's also a possibility with time manipulation, slowing down events around you. Anybody here ever go and dance in a strobe light? Like, you don't have to be directly under the strobe light necessarily, just kind of close to it. Literally, everything looks like it's in slow motion, like somebody could toss something to you. And even if you've got crappy manual dexterity, you can likely catch this thing. If your hand-eye coordination isn't something like a goldfish, you could probably catch the thing because it just looks like it's coming so much slower at you. Why? Because it's shorter bits of information, still the same information, but it's shorter bursts of it. And slowly you can see it coming towards you. It's large, third dimension coming at you, and you could probably catch a thing. It's a very cool concept. What changed? Simply your ability to process it. And the people who are a little bit more athletic, as far as like football, and I'm talking American football, rugby, to anybody else for that point, American football, all right, the NFL, or baseball is a really good one. You can process things faster and grab something. But the idea is, and of course you have to have the manual dexterity also. You process something really fast and your hand's just like, I'm not going to go faster. But all of that aside, the idea is that I think that he's got a form of time manipulation. He can process faster because he's got more time to process. He can move faster because he's either moving himself faster or slowing everyone else down. I think it's more likely he's making himself faster, because then how far would that range go? If it works even a mile away, that means when you go and meet your buddy 2 miles away, your watch is somehow slower than that guy's watch. And that would be weird, right? It's like, I seem to have lost 30 seconds on my watch. I don't know how that happened. We were synced before. So that would be a good way to see if it's external or internal. It does seem to be internal, or at least immediately, like his immediate surroundings, because he's able to, the cocoon, right? That was around him. And it took a particularly long time for him to come out because he was trying to process things. He needed more time to process things. And it wound up coming over into the next world. He had no idea about the thing. And on top of that, he had no idea about the time around him outside the cocoon. And he said, it felt like it was, a lot shorter than, what was it, 9 months, 8 months, something like that. But 7, it was several months, several. And also, the cocoon kind of came back on him. Now, there's no reason for the cocoon to come on him. Here's something with the Inhumans, with Terrigenesis. There is no way to go through Terrigenesis a second time. Maybe they'll do that with a character later on. Maybe they'll make that like with the X-Men in the comics. They made a second mutation after a while. It didn't really last very long, but they did try that for a while. They could try that here also. Maybe they just don't learn from their mistakes. But the idea is that right now, you only go through Terrigenesis once, and it is completely irreversible. Now, that last part is actually key, because if this is just super speed that he's doing, whatever. As long as he's got the energy inside of himself, the food process that he's consumed to function, right, to keep his energy levels up, then he should be able to just, with his metabolism, heal a lot faster. But if we're talking time manipulation, well, he could just bring his body backwards into a time before he was hurt. Or he can move his body forward in time. Now, it seems like he's going backwards. Now, mind you, this works with every single science except one. And it's the one that it typically never works with. That includes like the Big Bang Theory, right? The Big Bang. It doesn't work in one science. That's why it's still a theory and not a law, because there's one science it doesn't work with, and that's thermodynamics. Two major laws of thermodynamics, and the second one is entropy. The first one, basically, very basic, energy cannot be destroyed. And the second one, and moving into it, energy cannot be created. All right, so energy cannot be destroyed. It simply takes a lesser form going into the second one. So there's the laws of entropy. And yes, laws of entropy. This is a law. That's why you can't, certain things, if they don't mesh with every aspect of science, they're just going to stay a theory, which means you can't prove them wrong, but you can't prove them right over top of all the other sciences. So when we're talking about time travel in reverse, entropy, you're still going to run into entropy if you're time traveling backwards. So while in theory you should be able to go backwards in time to a part where you're not injured anymore, just your body, not your outside surroundings, only internally. That makes sense, because your body remembers what your body's supposed to look like, right? If you get, let's say if you get shot, if you get stabbed, you get a cut or something like that, there will be a scar, but your body heals because, amongst many things, but because it remembers how your body's supposed to be shaped. Memory is a thing of the past. So, mind you, that's simply a theory, and I mean like let's even go back a little bit further and just say it's simply a hypothesis. If we're going to speak specifically scientifically, it's merely a hypothesis. So, the idea, though, is that you're still going to run into entropy. So, that won't explain that. So, you can have a hypothesis that it'll do that, but you're not going to be able to prove that it can work that way. You simply won't be able to disprove that it won't. So, anyway, that's what I think that his superpower is. That was actually really long for a previous episode, an earlier episode, but the idea is that I think that, yeah, it's something along those lines. Moving forward, Daisy did not sign the Sokovia Accords. Yeah, we're still on that. And that's interesting to me. That means that she could still technically work under the laws. She could still get off on a technicality. Agent Daisy, you didn't do such and such, you did such and such, and all these different things, and you're answerable because you came in for but you didn't actually sign the Sokovia Accords. Crap, you're going to use that against us, aren't you? And yes, big, beautiful smile by Chloe Bennett. So, yeah, she didn't sign it. That's on them. The Nadir thing was something else. It was seriously something else, man. That was just wild. Wiping the memory of May, that's also something I have a problem with. They didn't explain it, so I can't argue against it. there's, I guess, your thing, right? If you don't present an argument that I can counter, then I can't really counter it, right? Right now, we simply don't have anything near the technology to wipe the brain. Now, we don't have the technology to make LMDs, right? But the idea of actually wiping someone's memories is, yeah, we've got lesser versions of AI than what science fiction says. So that's much more of a reality than the idea of actually isolating a memory and causing it to forget things. All right? That would actually involve killing parts of the brain. That would be a bit extreme. I don't think that that's what we're doing here, but Either way, robo-may. I wrote down robo-may because I like that term. Yet she is a robot, and that's wow, man. Like they must really love May, and no complaints. I love Agent May also. I'm actually I subscribe to her Facebook. You know, I follow her on Facebook because she's awesome. She's an incredible actress. She actually got a double role earlier. I think it was the second season, right? The Hydra agent who got scarred and then put on the face to look like May. She was copying May. And then the entire next season, I believe it was the third season, she was, you know, oh no. She was, or at least the first half of it, she was, she had May's face, but it still had the crackling thing on the side, the scar and whatnot. So literally, Agent May is playing two different characters in this, and she's doing that here also. I like it. I think that she's got the acting chops to do it, so why not? Big surprise at the end, by the way, to see that Radcliffe was also not just an AI, an LMD. That I mean, when push comes to shove, especially when you see Nick Fury in the comics, it only makes sense. It'd be like, oh no, you got yourself hurt. Why didn't you think to make an LMD of yourself? That was the whole point, to protect the humans. So I liked it. I like what they did there. Leaked Mac, yeah, all that good stuff. The Superior, Bahrain. Bahrain is nice. I visited. It was very nice. But either way, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I think that this was a great episode. I like every single thing they did in here. Minor scientific inconsistencies, whatever. I'm hoping that if not by the next episode, then the episode after that, that we'll actually be able to see the Superior. I'm looking forward to it. Let's just put it that way. Either way, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.